All right. Recording in progress. We are game on.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. Well, meet with me this morning. You and Elgin had conversation about being a speaker for the chapter. Is that correct?
No, not at all. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are in the process of planning for 2026. Our theme for 2026 is growing stronger, going further, and we're approaching things kind of different, well, in a new way of pre-planning for the year. When we looked at topics that could possibly fall up under that theme, there was several that came through for skill and professional development. And
Hmm.
so, communication skills, time management, problem solving, and leadership skills. Our chapter is a conglomerate of phone representatives. We have some VPs, senior managers, managers. So it's a nice mixture of people. Some individuals are looking to take their career to the next level. And so, out of those four that I named, do you have teaching on any of those? And
So,
first, I'm sorry, let me back up for a moment. So
yeah.
we're looking for virtual events right now.
Okay.
So we do plan to have like an end of year event next year, but we're still in the planning stages of, you know, putting together our roadmap for next year. But would you be interested in doing a virtual event?
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be fine. And just remind me, your chapter's the St. Louis, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that works out. And you were mentioning that potentially end of year next year, looking at possibly an in-person, larger event.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to do something. We've just really started last month with our planning, and we have some new committee members who are diving in. So our College Connect, and then our Community Impact leader. And so we're looking for a way to tie all of that in. We were thinking of a scholarship banquet, something like that, that could benefit the students, but then also bring in and highlight community businesses and initiatives and things like that. And we would definitely need a keynote speaker for that, but we haven't really laid out the details
Hmm.
for that. But we are looking to get speakers in throughout the year for our professional development series. And so, like I said, those four topics were topics that we were looking into as it relates to growing stronger and going further. They're
Gotcha.
pretty broad, but we can narrow it down once I learn, a little bit more about your talks and what you offer
Yeah, for sure.
and
So,
your pricing.
yeah, yeah, for sure. The talk that I delivered at the NAMIC conference a couple of weeks ago, that's Speak Up, Stand Out, and that's really looking at the leadership development in whole, and looking at these two pieces of like the person, their own developmental journey as far as expanding their own identity, their personal values, and then going on the professional side, the team building side of, hey, what's the big picture? What are we all driving towards? And I love this theme
hmm
of going stronger, going further, because with my framework or methodology, my thoughts on that is really looking at, hey, how do we collectively bring all of our best pieces to the table, right? So that
hmm
is not just one person carrying the load, or other people on the sidelines kind of like, what do we do? No, everybody is chipping in. So there's a lot of that equity involved there, a lot of inclusivity. So if
hmm
so that's my thoughts on how this could be helpful for your chapter.
hmm So your talk would be about say it again, like what you would focus on. If I guess if you were to narrow down and choose one of those
Yeah, you have, and
topics
just
to talk
yeah, just
about.
name those four again, because I've heard a couple of them, but I missed a few.
So it would be communication,
Right.
um, improving both written and verbal communication skills. Now, communication, like I said, all of these are kind of broad.
Hmm.
So communication could fall up under, nope, bring me the candle. Advocating for yourself,
Yeah.
advocating for the promotion, being able to speak to your skills, communication. It could be, if you're a leader, how. So what I want to do is make the message applicable to all levels that are within the community. So communication is one, time management, learning to organize your time to be more productive and maintain a work-life balance. And then problem solving, developing creative and innovative approaches to overcoming challenges. And then the last one is leadership, gaining skills to inspire and guide others towards common goals.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you're welcome here.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just right off the rip, right there, the communication and leadership, both are like the ding ding dings in my head that light up with how they align with my talk, and just to recap that, it's really the speak up, stand out, the build an unshakable confidence to lead with impact and influence that would definitely dive into the realm of like self-advocacy of just communication, the interpersonal communication, like what are we saying to ourselves? How are we relating
Hmm.
with our own identities? And then how do we transfer that to others? And then the leadership side, right? That being a place to inspire team members to help them become more productive, perform at a higher level, and also for, toward a greater purpose. Because, in my experience, whether it's been in the nonprofit space and disaster recovery, sales and marketing, coaching, speaking, all these little breadcrumbs kind of are recurring themes, right? Anytime there's a
Hmm.
bigger
Hmm.
thing that I'm after, it allows me
Hmm.
to grow into that. It allows me to step up.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that those two do work really well together because even tying in, and you hit on it a little, personal leadership, governing yourself and managing yourself. And so, what I think that those two would be ideal for you to speak about, especially, after attending your session at the conference, which was very, again, I can't say enough. It was very insightful, energetic, engaging,
Thank you.
and you gave a lot of great nuggets that are able to be applied right away. And so I really valued what you brought to that session. Um, so what I'm thinking is possibly a workshop of some sort, or you know, because, and the reason I say a workshop is because uh, usually, when you're involved with creating something, the information kind of sticks a little bit better.
Yeah.
People are engaged more because they're not just, oh, this is a webinar. I'll just put my computer here and start cooking dinner. And, so getting people engaged and involved. So maybe like an hour and 30-minute type of event. What are your typical rates for something like that? Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. Bear with me for a second. Let me just check on what that looks like. Because yeah, the speak up standout is like that standalone talk. I do also have a separate like 5 series workshop where I call it Amplify Your Voice, and voice is an acronym, and that's a long thing. But
Hmm.
let's see, some no, I can send this over to you too, so you have some
Okay.
insight. Is like I have it on the PDF, but just for like the a 90-minute keynote and just like some other things, as far as like us strategizing together, a separate call from this, right? Just kind of looking at how do we make this useful and impactful for your members and all that, and just some different
Hmm.
resources offer. Typically that range is about 5 to 7, yeah, 5 to 7,000, but we can
Hmm.
always, be flexible with that. And then with that 5 part workshop, I mean, I usually can deliver that as a half day, but if you're looking at
Hmm.
kind of smaller chunks, just so people can absorb it and process
Hmm.
that, and then some follow-up coaching support and all that obviously goes into a higher level. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to
Mm-hmm.
send you over like my speaker programs, and
Mm-hmm.
you board can take a look at that and see what aligns for you, and we can see how we make it work to both sides can win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that sounds good. And you have a book, right? Have
Yeah,
you
I
written and
have
published a
the
book?
ebook. I'm looking at right
Okay.
now getting that published and making it like an available like paperback copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that book is a complement to the keynote. So it's the same name, Speak Up, Stand Out, but this is I call it a starter guide for building unshakable confidence. So that's essentially it's more of like an action workbook of sorts, right? It's me really coaching people through those
Mm-hmm.
pages, and it's touching on those three principles of what you experienced at NAMIC at the annual conference of your worth,
Mm-hmm.
your intentions, and your network, and just looking at these different spaces where we can actively work through it because there's only so much I can do in 1 hour, but
Absolutely.
that's like a
Yeah.
nice complement to the keynote.
So do you ever do a course where you're speaking explicitly from the book and the participants get a copy of the book? Or is it more on the broader scale of what you were sharing?
Yeah, it's on the broader scale. I mean, for a workshop series like this, I definitely will incorporate some more things from the book itself, so
Hmm.
we can actually have some time to do a couple of exercises and really cement the message home.
Hmm.
And happy
So
to give
with
and
what,
happy to give copies of the book to to members. Because I think it's
yeah,
only
so
available
we,
digitally right now, but I'm happy to know create that for a tangible like, hey, this is what you walk away with as well.
right, yeah, yeah. So with what you provide your topics, do you feel that a 2 hour, let's just say 2 hours, 2 hours is enough time for you, or do you feel that you would feel restricted and kind of constrained?
No, I think 2 hours is fair. Yeah, 90 minutes to 2 hours. I think that's appropriate enough time for me to deliver and for them to receive and actually walk away with tangible things. Because I want to make it actually like a practical thing. I know the talk at the annual conference is a bit more motivational, which is fine. I'm not knocking that, but it's like I want to have now I have some time to work with an intimate group. I can really do a lot and be more value for you.
Hmm. Okay. So if you okay, so you're going to send over your price sheet. I just want to, you know, as a speaker, as an
Yeah.
author, as a person that does this as well, I want to maximize your time, but also um, be mindful of the budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so just looking at ways that we can do that.
Yeah.
If we need to narrow it down just to one topic and then create the environment for people to be able to schedule maybe a one-on-one with you or something like that, or you offer group, if you have group coaching becoming available, they can enroll in that at a NAMIC special price or something. I don't know.
No, I love
Because the
that idea.
goal here, okay, the goal is really to get you in front of our audience, but then also increase your following, increase your income, of course, and get people to know who Alex is, and then increase the referrals, because people are a part of other organizations. And so
Yeah.
that's my goal because I, I'm going to say I've been, where you
Yeah.
are, but I am where you are. So I
Yeah.
understand. Um, so what we'll do is we'll, um, we'll send this to Elgin, and I'm
Okay.
sure he'll have some questions from a different perspective. Um, and he may reach out to you directly, but I definitely want to get you on with the community at least in Q2 to give us enough time to plan and promote and push this out. And possibly I know we're supposed to be meeting with some other chapters, but possibly make this a collaborative effort so that we can all maybe share the financial expense of it and get more people in the audience. And
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, I was, see, it's great talking with another speaker, like picking my brain, like, yeah, like, what if we had another chapter that wanted to tag, kind of tag team with y'all?
hmm
Um,
hmm
yeah, so I appreciate you just, being, research and looking out for me in that regard, and I want to make sure that that's reciprocated. And want to make sure that, as you bring me in, potentially that, I want to make sure that you're the hero. I want Elgin yourself and be like, oh my goodness, this guy was, fantastic. I want your members being like, wow, that was incredibly helpful for us, right? And
yeah,
I guess that's one of my questions, like, what have you seen from past presentations or webinars that members have responded to or that they've walked away with saying like, wow, Cynthia, thank you for this. Like, what have been those kind of uh, comments,
yeah.
maybe breadcrumbs, I should say.
So we did a workshop with a friend of mine. Her name is Pasha Cook, and hers was that was talking about I forget the particulars, but the members, it was basically putting together your game plan for whatever that next level, master your level, mastering the level that you currently are in, and then putting together your game plan to go to the next level. And they found that her presentation, which was very conversational, inclusive, she asked a lot of questions, and it gave the members an opportunity to really sit and think, you know, of those answers and then be able to examine their life and see where they needed to make change. And so they really valued the knowledge that she brought to us, her expertise, and then her down homeness. Um, and so, yeah, she was very engaging, but it was just I don't know. People were just plugged in. They were ready to hear what she had to say. Um, and so when we had her on, because she's a friend of mine, and I think our budget was was not, it wasn't where we needed it to be to pay her. We just bought like a certain number of her books, and then we did an interactive thing where people that showed up or interacted, they received a copy of the book. But yeah, I would say, and then as we bring on more people, I did a presentation for NAMIC many, many years ago before I was the VP, talking about leadership and um, on solid ground when you're new to leadership. And the feedback that I received was it was encouraging. They found the information helpful, easily applicable, things that they didn't ever really think about. So the community is there. The climate is changing. And so I'm mindful of, like at Charter, we just had several
Yeah,
thousand,
like
well,
layoff.
1,200 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so people are concerned about job security. So
Mm.
that's in my mind as well, as far as like, how can whatever we present via a speaker or workshop or anything, how can it be applied to even those concerns, of advocating for yourself, knowing how to speak to your strengths, knowing how to lead yourself, and knowing how to vet opportunity, just all of the. So I have a lot in my mind. But to answer your question, we received really good feedback. I will say this the challenge is getting people to show up. People will sign up, but
Yeah.
then they'll forget or something. So I've been working with building our leadership team to really have leaders in place that can will manage certain things. So the communication. So when I sign up for an event that's virtual, what I found that helped me to make sure I attend is constant reminders by email. I don't think that people are intentionally not showing up. They
Right.
just forget. We're busy, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Life gets in the way for sure.
Yep, yep. So having those text reminders, email reminders, something that gets in their face. So That's another reason why I mentioned bringing on another chapter, because if we have other chapters, then we can definitely increase the likelihood of more people showing up as opposed to just having our chapter there. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking of like a mid-year summit or something. I'm just thinking
Mhm.
of things, but I think it would be valuable to bring those other chapters in. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to ramble, but I hope I
No, no,
answered
it's
your
it's fine.
question.
This is helpful information for me, and I had an idea. One of
Okay.
the things that I've done in the past with other associations, and it's fun for me. It's just an easy process for me. Is just
Hmm.
doing like a series, like a short, whether it's like a short LinkedIn Live podcast, like an interview, just kind of
Hmm.
bringing some more awareness to the chapter, and kind of giving people a preview, like, hey, this is your speaker that's coming up. This is you know, touch on a little bit of the topic itself, but also do it as a collaboration to make sure that people in my network see like, oh, what's this, what's NAMIC or what's this
Hmm.
other association, and some of them have
Hmm.
tapped in and checked it out. So that might be another option if you're open to that. That
Hmm.
could be useful.
Absolutely. And then we also have a podcast
Oh,
that we do. Yeah, our chapter has a podcast. It's called Next Up. And we just
oh,
talk to individuals in the telecommunications, media, entertainment sector about their journey and things like that. And so that's another avenue we could use to promote and share information and give people breadcrumbs to, your information and get them kind of hyped about
yeah,
signing up for this, event. So it's a lot of things that we can do to promote it. But I think that you'll be really great um, for this season, this climate. I'll say it that way.
yeah,
People are on edge. You got the political climate, you got
yeah,
so many changes in telecommunications, job security, AI, all this stuff. And we can get lost in it and forget who we are and what we bring to the table and feel like these things outside of us determine our destiny, and they don't. And
yeah,
so having the confidence to stand flat footed in who we are and still go after the things that we desire in life, that's important. Is people need to be reminded of that. It's so much that grabs our attention so quickly and easily. And so I think that your topic, your talks are very relevant um, for this climate that we're in. And so I'm eager to put our heads together and see what we can come up with. So I guess we can stop there unless you have any other questions for me that you could think of.
no, I mean the only question, like, for myself, as far as like next steps, I'm going to send you over my speaker programs, and then I guess from on your end, like, what would the next step on, you receive that, review that, what would be the
Hmm.
process?
Okay. So yeah, so when you send that over and you send the recording, we'll give
Mhm.
Elgin some time to review it. I meet with my leadership board every Monday. I would like to talk with them to get some thoughts with them.
Okay.
I do have, so I would say give us a couple of weeks to follow back up with you because I have
Okay.
some meetings set up with the other chapter leaders, and I just want to share the information with them to get their thoughts as well. So I'll follow up by email in a couple of weeks to let you know next steps.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much. Are you on IG?
Yeah, I actually am. Let me put that handle in the chat. I've been focusing a lot more on LinkedIn over the last year and
Mm-hmm.
change, but I do from time to time, like, actually someone just tagged me in a podcast thing, so I got to do some promotion for that today. I didn't
Hmm.
realize this episode was going live. Let me just spare me 1 minute. I gotta pull up my one here. Where is see I have like all my links on my stuff in like one central place, so
Oh, I
I
think I
don't lose
found
it.
you. Speaker Alex Dumas.
Yeah, that I didn't even
Okay.
remember like what the handle was. Yep, that's
Okay. I just followed you.
you did.
So.
Okay, all right,
Yep. All
perfect.
right. Well, I look forward to receiving the information and I will follow up in a few weeks.
All right, wonderful, Cynthia. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, talk to you
All right.
soon.
Bye.